Hi everyone. Welcome, welcome. Hope you all are doing good. We are here on the Vision Train. Today is October 19. It's 10:12 a.m. here in Brazil time. I'm really glad to be here with you all for one more episode of the Vision Train Focus, a spotlight for the Vision Train crew that's happening today with the guest artist Shly Dyes. Jeet Gupta, the artist behind this amazing project. Yay! So I'm really glad that you are all tuning in from all over the world to the Vision Train. The Vision Train is this international community that was organized by Amanda Sage and Joe Bob starting in the beginning of 2020, and it's following up for a six-year online full power. Choo 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 that. Yes, it's really nice to connect with you all. Well, I am Marina. I am speaking from Brazil. So, English is not my first language. So, my friends, if I make some mistakes, I'm sorry. I know I will make them. So, I am apologizing upfront because, well, English is not my first language, but I try my best to communicate everything. And we are here on the Vision Train Zoom room, this space on the ether that we all meet. We are here with Suri Bell, Abra, Ali, Honey, and Scott, and Jeet. And each of us is in one part of the globe, like connecting all time zones, connecting continents and everything. Well, the Vision Train Focus, I started this trip here on the train because, well, we have just so much good artists here on the train that are writers, that are conductors, and each of us has like this unique life story that brought us to this moment here now. And on the Vision Train, while we are online, while we are sharing, we don't have the opportunity to go deep into one's life. Well, at least in collective, we can all go individually to each other, but here on the Vision Train, this is like a 2 hour trip where I interview one Vision Train rider and where this artist get the spotlight and can share the life stories and art and all the work that it has done until today and also the future projects. So we are here today with, well, we had already like in the YouTube channel, on the Vision Train channel on YouTube, you can check all the previous episodes. This is the eighth edition, and we had just so many good artists here. The previous one was with Michelle, and we had Chantel also this year, and we had Brittany, and we had Sunny, we had Joe, we had Molly, we had just so many good artists, and I want to keep this rolling. So many more artists to come in the future for sure. And well, today I am excited to present my brother from India, one of the Vision Train riders, like the only Vision Train rider that I got the chance to hug and sit down and talk face to face. It was just so amazing. We were by the coast. Well, we were on the east coast of India, on the Indic Ocean, like somewhere I never thought I would be in my life. But I was there in Puri with Jeet, having some coffee in the nighttime. Of course, that's me. But well, it was so much fun. Jeet, how are you, my friend? How you doing? Welcome, welcome.
Hello, hello, everybody. Hi. I'm doing good. Kind of nervous, but yes, really excited for this. And firstly, I think I would take a moment and express my gratitude towards the Vision Train community and Marina and Amanda Sage and everybody else who gave me this opportunity to present my story and share it with you guys. And means a lot to me. And this opportunity kind of made me go through the rabbit hole and dig in through all the pictures and all the things that I had done in the past, and wow, it was so amazing. And well, it was quite an experience, I must say. And
Yes.
also,
Mhm.
yeah, and also I would like to take a moment and wish everybody a very happy Diwali, which is tomorrow, but the celebrations are on, and I hope you guys are having a great time wherever you are and you feel blessed, and prayers for you guys, everybody in the planet.
Thank you, Jeet. Thank you, thank you. Happy Diwali. Well, India is so full of celebration. I just love this country. I have a few questions about this for sure. I want you to talk more about this. And yes, well, this trip can take us down this path of the nostalgia of life that was once before. And I'm so curious to know about your life, Jeet. So you have a presentation for us?
Yes, I do have a presentation, so I'll just share my screen
Great.
quickly. Right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. And once you do the full presentation, we'll see like it full screen.
Sweet. So I'll just start the presentation. It begins with a song by my mother, and I hope you guys like it.
You remember to share audio as well?
I did. Yes.
Cool.
চলেছি রসের খেলা ওর জীবনের বিচিত্র রূপ ধরে তোমার ইচ্ছা তরুণীছে তাই তোমার আনন্দ আমার পর তাই তো তুমি রাজার রাজা হয়ে তবু আমার হৃদয় লাগে ফিরছো কত মনোহরণ বেশে প্রভু নিত আছো জাগি তাই তো তুমি রাজার রাজা হয়ে তবু আমার হৃদয় লাগে ফিরছো কত মনোহর বেশে প্রভু নিহিত আছো জাগে তাই তো প্রভু যেথায়
So, hello again, everybody. My name is Jeet Gupta. I was born in India, in Kolkata, in the state of West Bengal. And my life started with my dad being a civil engineer. We moved from different places in India while I was young. So experienced a lot of different kinds of culture. And as you are already aware, I think India being such a diverse country in terms of the culture that is there and all the different kind of people here. So I had the opportunity to stay at these different beautiful places. And my mom and my dad, they have been classical singers in Bengali, and they always hosted these functions during Durga Puja mostly, wherein they would sing Rabindra Sangeet, which are basically songs derived from the poetry of Rabindranath Tagore. So again, like immersed within the culture of India, and I was always fascinated by all these gods and deities and all these stories and mythology that surround them. And it was always so inspirational for me growing up as a kid. Although I wouldn't say I'm so religious as a person, but it certainly like enticed me and always inspired me, the stories especially. So these are like the ceiling of certain of some temples. This is like a Shiv mandir. This is the roof of a Shiv mandir, and this is how it looks. These are the idols that people in West Bengal make during Durga Puja, and this is in a place called Kumar Thuli, wherein the artisans craft these amazing murtis or idols in Ganpati, Ganesha. So growing up, when I was in my teens, I was kind of like a metalhead, and I was pretty much, I would say, I was kind of floating in the air, kind of lost and trying to find what is the truth. And I was also like a very avid bike enthusiast. And I think my creativity kind of started by doing decals and paint jobs on my bike. So these are like a couple of versions of my bike. And then from engineering, I did mechanical engineering. And after that, I pursued fashion technology in the National Institute of Fashion Technology. And so I was being trained to become a fashion designer or a technology person. And in my final year, while I was graduating from the college, I made a bullet resistant vest as a part of my graduation project. And here you can see the test results from the bullet resistant jacket. It was meant for VIPs to have like a concealable jacket that doesn't, like give away the bullet resistantness. Here is me being graduated, and this was year 2012. And this is the same time I experienced a near death experience. It was a bike accident. I ripped my skull and I had a really bad injury, and I was unconscious for an hour. And when I woke up, I had a very vivid dream about me being in like a courtroom kind of scenario, and wherein I was kind of begging for my life back to go back to earth to finish the purpose that I was born to do. And after this accident or this near death experience, my life pretty much changed in terms of my brain chemistry. Because earlier, all my education was in the technical field more of, and not really creative and artistic field. But after the accident, I had this urge to like create and express myself, and I experienced this clarity in my head, and I felt that I now know the answers to the questions that I had earlier in my life. But still, then again, I was supposed to be the fashion designer. So even after the accident, I had to continue and start my own job. And I started working as a bridal wear, menswear designer. And yeah, I mean, I made some t-shirt prints, and these were my first real like creative adventures on Photoshop. At that point of time, although I was like very uh, had this urge to express myself of all these vivid visuals that were coming into my head whenever I closed my eyes. So I wanted to like draw and sketch, but sadly my skills of drawing were like too bad, and I was like, okay, I need to learn how to draw then. So I kind of approached my friend, and he kind of taught me the basics of drawing. And from there on, I kind of started to practice a little more and try to, experiment with techniques and different mediums. Mostly at this point of time, I was drawing with pencils, whether it was charcoal or color pencils, some pens, and then again I was trying to explore myself in the digital realm using Photoshop and Illustrator to express myself or what I was feeling at that point of time. So these are a couple of my some of my digital sketches and illustrations that I did on different mediums like the Photoshop and Illustrator. Also, after the accident, I felt this very strong attachment towards a force that we call Shiva. And it is what I kind of relate to Shiva is that it's the complete thing, whatever it is, it's the nothing and the everything together. So I was just experimenting with myself, and this was my first ever t-shirt that I drew upon. It was for a party, and this is where it probably started. My journey with making handcrafted apparels, and that then was born Shly Dyes. Then I made a few t-shirts, and these were my first tie dyes, and my friends were very supportive, and they were like, okay, dude, you gotta explore yourself and you should go to Goa because that is the hippie haven, as we are aware of in India, especially. So, again, my friends, they really supported me and, bought t shirts from me, commissioned t shirts from me, and really like inspired me to go to Goa. So there I was in Jan of 2017. I went to Goa. I had been to Goa for quite a few times in my life, but this time I went there with a purpose to explore myself and try to, sell my creativity and my art somehow, and present it to my different people. So I took up a tent. I was living on the top of a terrace, which was right in front of the ocean. And I started dyeing there. I built my own setup, a little modest setup there. And I used to dye during the day. And I used to sell the tie-dye t-shirts during the evening. This was the beach craft market that used to occur every evening during that point of time. And I was really grateful to be here and with all these amazing people. And as the evening fell to the night, it the drum circles began and the fire dancers showed up, and it was a great experience to be there, super inspiring. And I was really lucky to meet these amazing people who helped me out during my rough days. It was tough as a trying to be like this hippie creative, trying to make a living as well as trying to express myself at the same point of time. So I continued my expression of drawing with charcoal and graphite. These are some of the drawings and that I made during my visit in Goa. And then finally, it was time to leave Goa for another adventure. I met a few people in Goa who were from this place called Himachal Pradesh in India, which is up in the mountains near the Himalayas. And there I was. I went there to a friend's place, and he was kind enough to offer me a place to stay, and he offered me some food. And I tried doing the same thing there. Was I seeing the nature and the Himalayas? It was truly breathtaking for me, and I was just fascinated with the nature around me and all these amazing mountains and valleys. So nature always has been like and a big inspiration for me in terms of the color theory, because as I told you, I'm not a trained artist, so I had to learn everything on my own. So my best teacher and still is nature. I always observe nature and this how the seasons change, how the colors kind of turn from one shade to the another. And again, Himachal was also it was an uphill struggle, but then again, it was very peaceful and calming. The houses of Himachal Pradesh, made out of wood and stones, very interesting. It was also amazing to see for me. Again, therein I met some amazing people who were really kind, and we spent a lot of time together. We had a lot of fun. We created music, we created art together, we danced together. And they were also so generous to support me in my adventure. They commissioned t-shirts from me. These are some of the t-shirts that I made in Himachal for my beautiful friends. And I met these beautiful kids, and they were so pure. And again, it was super inspirational to go to these amazing places and meet these amazing souls. There in my journey, I was introduced to the fiber wool. Yes, and that's where I started to experiment on wool, and I was introduced to the craft of Himachal Pradesh. And this is the first time I was actually introduced to handloom and hand weaving. And I was so fascinated with this that, it was because me being from a city from Bombay, I never saw a hand woven a cloth being woven by hand. And this was like so new for me, and it was so fascinating. I was truly inspired by these amazing artisans, and I quickly started to collaborate with them and make things together. On the right, we have this beautiful, amazing lady making hand knitted socks, which I would tie dye later. And then these amazing kids and his father who made these beautiful stoles and scarves that I was interested into tie dyeing. Here's another friend. We did another project together, a little small project. She had some wool with her, and she was like, "Okay, would you like to dye this for me?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." So that was another little collaboration that we did, and this was my first one on wool. I continued dyeing on wool. This is on pashmina. Here's a short video of these artisans, how they live in Himachal Pradesh and how they create their craft. I was always continued to be inspired from the nature around me and tried expressing whatever I could. And Himachal, again, it was time for me to leave to another place. I met some people who asked me to come to this amazing place called Ladakh, Leh in Ladakh. And this landscape was, again, so breathtaking and it was totally new for me. And I was like blown away by this landscape. Again, the culture shifted wherein Himachal was more of Hindu and going to Leh, there were people from Buddhist backgrounds. And so a lot of stupas and beautiful monasteries and high mountain passes takes you to the land of the Indus River, wherein the Himalayan range was created, and you could really see how everything got created in the process. And here is this statue is like a huge, probably 30 foot or something, is carved on this granite rock and is of this deity called Maitreya. So in Leh, I landed in this place called the Last Resort. It was basically a bikers camping resort, and my friend was dealing in pashmina wool, and he asked me that would I if I would like to dye some of his pashmina and if I would like to collaborate with him, and I was more than happy to take up the offer and. Uh, Again, this amazing place inspired me to the core, and I took a lot of inspiration from the nature to create the collection that we were supposed to make. This is the resort that we lived in. This is the tent that I was living in, and it was also my studio for that time being. This is where the action happened in Leh, and we dyed some Ladakhi inspired pashmina stoles and shawls with this view. I made some experimental pieces as well. This was basically a cotton towel handed to me by this guy. He was the carpenter on the site. And I took up the challenge and I made this for him. And I was so glad to see his smiling face after this, after he wore this. Continued making drawings and exploring the nature of the self and the nature around me. I came back home then to Bombay and I started took all this inspiration from Goa, from Himachal, from Ladakh, and I put it all together and I had to create a lot of other things. So I did another project with the same friend and we made some more scarves, some woolen scarves. And these are some of them. And some of my friends in Bombay were kind enough to help me out with a photo shoot, and it was really fun working with these guys. It's quite an experience. Then I made this hoodie. It was based on the theme of all kind of Hindu symbolism. And then I started making my first tapestries, trying to take it to the next level of dyeing. This one is called Spirit of Fire. Prayers for the ones who have spirited away, remorseful as it may be. With a fire of hope in my heart, I embrace the change I see. The new me, the new you, we create a new reality. A life of love and light, dancing till the eternity. This one's called the Buddha Contemplation. These are one of my first tapestries, and just trying to explore different Hindu mythological characters through tie dyeing. This one is Kal Bhairava. Kal Bhairava is a reincarnation of Shiva, and he was sent to Earth to kill a demon at that point of time. This is my rendition of Ma Kali. And as we spoke of Diwali, it is also the Kali Puja here in India. The socks collaboration that we did using the knitted socks, woolen socks. Alongside, I was also experimenting with natural dyeing uh, because it was all about sustainability and reactive dyeing, although is low environment impact dye, but still natural dyes are totally environment friendly. So I was also experimenting with natural dyes, and this is a collaboration that I did with this friend. And this woman is Nicole D'Souza, and she is the person that I collaborate with to make garments. And she has been very kind enough to support me always. And then came COVID, and I was introduced to the Vision Train through Amanda Sage. And as I was exploring myself, I was also getting familiar with the visionary artists like Alex Gray, whom I discovered through the band Tool. And from Alex Gray, I discovered all these amazing artists like Chris Dyer, Amanda Sage, and all these other amazing people, Android Jones, and so many others. And one day I was just scrolling through Facebook and I saw this post by Amanda, which was about the Vision Train. And I was still kind of nervous to get on the Zoom call because I had never really been on a Zoom call before. But then I kind of gathered all my might and I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's see what is it about. And there I was on the Vision Train, and I was welcomed by this amazing community of artists. I was being from India. Trip one and trip two were the times that were more relevant and more practical for me. So I was I was introduced to the Vision Train by these amazing people: Joe, Patty, Chantel, Lainey, Natalie, who Hanny, and all these amazing people who kind of reassured me that yes, I am an artist and I could, whatever I'm doing does make sense, you know. And it was such a great feeling to be in this community, and still is. Every time that I log into the Vision Train, it always feels the same. It always feels like home. And I'm so grateful to Amanda for creating this platform for artists like us so that we can come and chat and have a lot of fun, jam with each other, share our stories, inspire each other, co create, collaborate. So this was totally amazing. And from there, my vision journey just went to the next level. I mean, I was so inspired by these artists on the train, and I learned so much from everyone. And I started my drawings became a little more complex than they were. I started using a lot more colors. These are still pencil sketches. I was still not doing painting at that point of time. And all the amazing support that everybody had always offered me. This was a kimono that I made for Chantel. A couple of t-shirts that she commissioned from me. So grateful for this. Very, very special. There's some more kimonos that for Becky or Avery and for Austin. Then came Natalie came to India, and it was such a great experience. We had a lot of fun together. We went. She came for a hiking trip actually, and then she came to Meghalaya where I was working at that point of time. I'm still working there, and we had a great time together. We went on boat rides, we went on hikes, and this is the shawl that I made for her. Here are a couple more pieces that I made for the Vision Train people. This one was for Amanda, Joe Bob. And very recently came Zach Knuckles, and we had a great time together tripping South India. We went to from Goa, we went to Hampi, and then to Kodaikanal. And again, it was a great, great journey. We made so much of art together. We explored so many places, and it was such an amazing experience tripping with my brother Zach. And here are a few t-shirts that we made during that time. T-shirts are natural dyed, and me and Zach both hand sketched on them with fabric markers. And very recently came Marina and Rebels with her partner, and we collaborated on a project as well, which is currently ongoing. And it was such a great experience meeting my dear sister from Brazil in Hampe. We went for a party together where Danilo was playing. It was amazing. From the Vision Train, I got introduced to another beautiful community, the Design Science Studio. I met Roxy and the whole crew of the Design Science Studio, and I met this woman called Melissa. Melissa, I forgot her last name, but we did another collaboration together wherein she asked me to make tie dye some scarves and some shawls, and which she was supposed to present in a fashion show in New York. And that was probably the first time some of my products got exhibited in a fashion show, especially in New York. So that was pretty special for me, and grateful for this collaboration as well. And from Vision Train, another amazing thing that happened was the Vitra Academy. And me not being painting at all in my life, I was introduced to the Mish technique by Amanda Sage, and she was so kind enough to ask me to join this workshop with her. And this is the first time I made my own self portrait, and was quite an experience while doing it. Super grateful to Alicia Sacred Heart and Amanda for all the support, and also all the people who were there during the course time. And it was such an amazing crowd, and I learned so much from everybody. And yeah, the mesh technique, well, that was amazing. This was a speed mesh again in the same course, and this was probably my first painting before I was simultaneously doing the self portrait. But this one we had to make kind of quickly. Well, it was supposed to be made quickly, but I kind of took a week's time to make it. But, anyways, I continued exploring different mediums. This one was with brush pens, like kind of like sketch pens. The left one is with brush pens, and the right one is with watercolors, which was the skill that I picked up with my brother Zach while we were touring, and he taught me such amazing lessons about watercolor, and that was truly precious for me, and it was another skill unlocked. From there, I got an opportunity to work in Meghalaya with the amazing tribal weavers of the region. I've been doing this since 2022, 2021-ish, I think. And here, again, the topography completely changed, the culture completely changed, very different kind of people, but the same beautiful smiling faces, honest and so hardworking artisans of this region, whom I got the opportunity to co-create and collaborate with. And also, actually, the project that I'm doing with them is based on training them into modern design skills and colors and patterns, keeping their indigenous background intact, and also the use of sustainable materials, which they have kind of forgotten now because of the advent of mass production and the polyester in the picture. And the material that we mostly use here is eri silk, which kind of resembles wool, but it is so different, and as a material, it's presently one of my favorite material right now because it keeps you warm during the cold and and for in the summers it keeps you cool. So it's a great fiber, and it's also like one of the strongest natural fibers. And here is one of the Khasi tribe women hand spinning the yarn. This technique is called the drop spindle method. In Meghalaya, all women mostly are chewing on betel nut. So everybody is chewing on betel nut. That is something. So the process of interacting with these artisans was through the training program that we had in Shillong. I'm just gonna wait till this video loads. Anyways, I think it's taking a lot of time. So we'll move on. So these are the artisans from the Rabha tribe. So it started with training them on modern techniques of hand weaving, and then after training, we set up a production unit in their own villages, wherein we start producing with them as per the buyers from different brands. Some of the weavers that are working with us. This is the Hajong tribe in southwest Garo Hills. We are in their village and establishing their production center. This video is about how we interacted with the artisans in their own villages. We first met them, we mobilized them to come to Shillong and get the training so that we could train them. And then again, they can come back to their villages and they can start working in their own comfort zone.
ভালো ভালো
These are the indigenous tools that they use. This is their traditional hand loom.
वही जो काम पैडल से होता है
रोज फ्लावर का सोनाली डिजाइन सोनाली रंग এটা মুবার লাগা
yes you can see
It is so interesting to see handlooms everywhere in all the villages. Every household, there was a handloom and somebody was weaving on it. These are some of the traditional designs.
के साथ बहुत जल्दी बन जाएगा
जांगी तंगा को मुक मानी दी
This is one of their tribal festivals, the Rava tribe.
असली सिंगर तो इधर है फोन मत फोड़ रहा है मजाक तो नहीं है
Rehearsal dance. You are asking her what she makes and how much she sells them for.
एक माह लगे
डेढ़ माह लगे
कष्ट হৈছে
বেছি টাইম লাগে Nice work, bro. Yan ang department ni.
Lem.
Lem ada. Ya barang bottling, labeling barang namna rangin bro. Maya uja maban Mai sebya jinet ngaban pian wine salada fruit niko. Experimental masak ini tu apa bro? Minum di. Domai. Baba po, nasong ni family ng baksa. Baka po discuss ka po. Ne. Di ba? Mundirak po, nasong.
This is the Garo tribe. He's making the warp for the loom.
Ay kanari kang yarap handra. Sakit ni dong. Sakit ni be, sejo.
Here are a couple of my natural dyeing and eco-print pictures. Dyeing yarns this time. Eco-printing with eucalyptus and marigold on cotton t-shirts. Printing on a madder dyed airy silk fabric. This one was dyed with onion skins and printed with marigold.
Purple I see now.
This is a part of a workshop in Guwahati. Again, doing some experimental yarn dyeing. This is with reactive dyes. This is the cloth that was woven with that yarn. So here are some more videos of collaborations. This happened while I was doing the trainings in Shillong and in another place in Khasi Hills. One was with this woman called Cora. She is from Italy. I think she's based in Mexico right now. And the other one is with this female called Natalie or Nat, and she is based in Canada. So both were fabrics were used to make kimonos, different styles, but still the same garment. One was on cotton, khadi cotton, and the other one on the right-hand side is on eri silk and linen. So I dyed the fabric and she designed it, took it to another level. After they finished weaving the cloth, some of the designs that we made collaboratively. This is some of my recent sketches. Recent tie-dye. Thank you so much, guys. I would like to play a song. Um, I don't know why I did not play. Just give me a second. Okay, this is a song dedicated to everybody. I hope everything turns out well for everyone. I hope we all turn out to be the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah, choo choo. Yay, thank you so much, Jit, for putting together this presentation for us. I am so glad to know more about you and about your life. You can see here in the chat there are many people here on the Vision Train with us. Michelle, Abra, Ali, Honey, Scott, Brittany, Sunny, Suri, and Asia. Thank you all for being here with us and checking deeply the life of our friend Jeet. And well, my friends, I have some questions here for Jeet, and later I will open the floor if anyone else here has something to share for him as well. You can also put it in the chat. I will read it later if you don't want to open the mic. But I am curious, Jeet, you
Yes, ma'am.
mentioned about your academy life. Like you were studying engineering and then you went to fashion school, but like IT fashion school. And then you went to be a hippie in Goa Beach. Like, how was this transition? Like, what was your plan? Like, what was your vision when you were in university? And what changed to this artistic, more freely life?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I mean, yeah, when I was doing engineering, I was from this generation wherein in India, especially, if you are like, that's how the people looked at you, that if you are a good student, then you have to do engineering or medical or become a doctor, become an engineer or become a doctor. If you're not doing either of both, then you're probably dumb. That's how people were, had a notion about you. So my parents, my dad being an engineer, I was always like, knew that I had to do engineering. And at that point of time, we didn't have so many options, and it was not looked upon very well, like other fields of, like, even creative fields. So I got into engineering, but I realized very soon that this is not something that I really want to do. But then I was into it, so I had to complete it because I had already spent a couple of years until I realized that, okay, this is not something that I want to do as a whole. But anyways, engineering really taught me a lot as well, in terms of, I didn't realize that at that point of time, but in terms of training your brain to understand so many concepts, so it really helped in that direction. And after engineering, so like I said, I didn't want to do engineering at all, so forget about working in that field, right? So I was like, okay, so what am I supposed to do then? That was like the moment of truth came on me, and I was like, okay, so we got to do something, we got to earn money somehow. if not this, then what? So I was like, okay, I like music and I like fashion. So either of the two. I was like, music, well, too late for me because I was kind of in my mid 20s, and I was like, okay, if I try to learn music now, I mean, it's gonna be tough for me, you know. So I was like, okay, let's pick the easy one out. So so I picked fashion because I was always growing up. I was cutting my own t-shirts, cutting friends' clothes, and like making some little sketches and doodles on t-shirts. So I was like, okay, I think I can do this. So now that I was an engineer, I had to look for a course that would, uh, support this engineering degree of mine as well, kind of. So because I wanted to do fashion design, but then to do that, I had to do another graduation like for 4 years. And I was like, I don't have that much time, So I wanted to do a post graduation course. So I found this course called Fashion Technology, which is basically about pattern making and drafting and, the back end of fashion, which is quality and all that production related things. So I got into that. I gave an entrance and I cleared it, and I was in the college. I was in the National Institute of Fashion Technology in Delhi. So that is how I ended up in that particular course, and everything was fine. I was really interested into pattern making, garment pattern making. And I was like, okay, I felt like I found my niche, and I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I was certain about it, but then again, life has other plans for you. I met with this near death experience, and that completely changed my whole perspective, towards life and what I was feeling as a person and what was my thoughts about. Like I said, I felt this clarity and this urge to like express myself somehow, So, but I was already a designer now, so I started with the regular way of working with the corporates. But during my college we were taught all about sustainability and all these beautiful terminology, and when I go to the industry I saw the complete opposite of it. And I was like, this is not how it's supposed to happen. you know like, why are we even making thousands of t-shirts or of the same design? I mean, why are we doing? I couldn't relate to this. And so but I had to do it for some timing to accumulate some funds. And at that point of time, life took me through tie dyeing, and I was trying to express myself. I was learning how to draw. Everything was happening simultaneously. And as I made my first collection of tie dye t-shirts, my friends were like, "Okay, dude, the only people buying this shit is in Goa. Okay, so you have to go to Goa." So I was like, okay, then let's do this. I had a freelance job at that point of time. I had quit my corporate job and I was doing freelance design work. And so I was like, okay, I don't have to go to an office. So I had that privilege to actually work from anywhere. So I took the decision to go to Goa and do a season there, learn things, meet people, make connections, and that's how I ended up in Goa. That's how the journey began, the craft journey.
Wow, that's incredible. That's really incredible. Like, took a chance in life and just went for it. Yeah, yeah, and I can relate a lot about the fashion industry. I'm a fashion graduate. I have my degree on fashion. Like I spent 4 years in fashion school, and yeah, it's really like a paradox that we live in fashion, that we want to create something new. We all want to create the new designs, but like, what are the costs of it? Like, what is these materials that we are using for like so long? And why is this happens like this,
Right,
right?
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. When I was working with the corporates, I saw most of it was about polyester or synthetic fibers. I did not realize that at that point of time, but I was sure that this is not the way to go. And when I visited the factories, I saw these huge dyeing setups and all the smell that used to come from around those factories, and how the workers were really like working their ass off, like day in and day out, and they were getting like such less wages. So all these problems like really questioned me that whether I want to relate myself to this kind of industry, or what am I gonna do? Like, where do I stand? What is my take on this? So my take on fashion was always about individual expression, right? I mean,
Yes.
fashion is so subjective, right? Something that you might find good, somebody else might be like, ah, nah, that's not my thing. So it's always so individual, and this brand and corporate culture, everybody looks the same in the end of the day, right? It's the same t-shirt that is marketed all over the world. So everybody's wearing the same thing, the same colors. There are trends to be followed, all this stupid shit that we go through. And when I started creating my own line of t-shirts, I started off with reactive dyeing, and therein I was like, you can mix these colors and you get this array of colors. There's so many different shades of colors. And when I have the power to make something unique every time, why should I repeat my design? So I was making new design. Every new t-shirt was a new design. So I was like completely having fun with it. But the people, like, especially the people who are still working, my friends who are working in the fashion industry, they were like, dude, what are you doing? This one t-shirt, what if someone tells you to make the exact thing again? I'm like, this is handmade. Why do you want the exact thing again? It can be on similar lines, but it'll be a unique product in its own self, right? And that is the USP of it. Why do you want to buy the same thing that somebody else already owns? What's the point of buying it from me then, right?
Yes, like what is the point of buying a craft, like not a product from the industry? Like this is really hard, like for people to differentiate. Like what you are making is not a product from the industry. Like you're making something unique, a craft, like something that is never going to make a new one again. Like never ever. And this
Right.
is
And
the
also in
speciality.
Right. And also in this journey, I met people, and then I spoke to them about what they like, what colors they like, what patterns they like, and showed them my work. And the whole thing about co-designing a product with somebody who's going to wear it, and then me making it, and that person actually seeing it for themselves, and that expression on their face, like, what? You know? So that was so satisfying, for me, that okay, this feels so good that I made something with my hands, and there is someone who's appreciating it and wearing that product. So it's way more than a product for me. It's like a way of expression, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, it's another medium. Just like you create a canvas, you create a t-shirt, but or a shawl. Yeah, like yes, totally like the same medium. And it's really beautiful to see the evolution of your drawings. How like they are from the beginning, they have like there are these faces with the texture that you bring, and then you like keep evolving this until like today, like these visions that you have today. It's so nice to see this, that you have your like a profession, dying, and that is the drawing, that is this your visual expression. And about this, like what is the message that you project? You mentioned about like Shiva, this auto, like the self-realization, and like what is this the message that you bring, that you try to put in your drawings, in your paintings?
Um, I mean, it's kind of complex yet very simple for me. It's in the head, it's very simple, but when it comes to like expressing it through mediums, it becomes kind of it turns out a little different than what is in my head, because in your head it's like so vivid and how you dream it. But when you start drawing, then your skills or my skills were not as apt to, you know, put this thing on a paper or a canvas that is in my head. So the whole intention was basically like a release. There was so much happening in my head that I wanted to let it out somehow, and any medium, be it fashion, be it sketching. Sketching is easier because you just need a paper and a pen to just express something, and then going drawing, painting, and then it goes more and more complex. But again, it was the expression was basically what inside after the accident, and what the connection that I wanted to express, that everything is one, and whatever that we feel right now, we are all on the same platform. And I don't know, it's the same thing. Like for me, Shiva is like everything. Like from nothing and everything is Shiva, and nothing is Shiva. You know, it's fun.
Mhm. And yeah, well, you have all these religious references, like all over India. Like they are the deities are all over. Like you cannot like you. How was this, like you mentioned that your parents also organize like singing groups like in special dates of religious dates. So how was this like growing up inside of this religion or like this spiritual practice, and what are the spiritual practice that you have until today?
Well, frankly, when I was growing up, it was quite overwhelming for me with all the religious ceremonies happening. And frankly, I used to run away during pujas. I was like, "Ah, I gotta go somewhere else." So growing up, I was like, I tried to be detached from this because it was so overwhelming. Every time it was this puja or that puja, and every new place that we went to, they had different customs, traditions, and gods. And but the stories, that's what fascinated me, and the Mahabharata and the Ramayanas and the little stories that are related to every kind of god or goddess that exists. And and for me, I like to simplify things. So again, all this hierarchy of gods and goddesses, they all sum up to Shiva and Shakti, which is like Shiva and Parvati. So it's like it's all trickles down into these branches of different gods and goddesses, but then in the end it's like just one, right? We come back to the one, right? So that is what I understood, uh, kind of realized after the accident more clearly. And the feeling that I was lost was kind of fading away. That I felt that I am in a direction now and I'm guided by some force which is higher than me. Because when I met with an accident, like I told you, this dream that I had when I was unconscious, uh, I saw this. There were two figures, some kind of entities, and I was kind of like this in this courtroom kind of a scenario. It felt like a court, like I'm being judged for what I have done in my life so far, and I'm here standing in front of them. I'm pleading for my life. I'm like, I'm gonna go back. I have to do a lot of things. And there was this other guy who was trying to defend me and say my case, like this is what he has done, this is what he has done. And the judge was just like, she was there, and didn't say anything. I mean, these are not words or vision. It was just a feeling that I felt, it was not, they were not people. They were just these energies, But this is a very stark memory that I have from that point of time. And when I woke up from that state of unconsciousness, obviously after you meet with an accident that deep, you have DMT release and you have this adrenaline rush. So I did manage to come back home, but then again, I lost one of my eyes in that accident. Like I can't see through my left eye because bone chip got stuck in the optic nerve. So when at that point of time I was getting like flashes, when I used to close my eyes, I used to see flashes of light and very vivid colors, even though if my eyes are closed, but still I used to see all these visuals that were like that I could not like contemplate at that point of time. So that is how the drawing came in, and I wanted to like because those were just flashes, like, and they would come and go and come and go, and so I had to put them down, and then I had to study them. Ki, what is this exactly? Like putting pieces together, slowly understanding. Like, okay, now it kind of makes sense, you know. So yeah, like you said, this practice of spirituality, I think for me, it is as basic as just consciously breathing. Just understanding your body through breathing. That is where it starts from me. I do not do any fancy, any kind of rituals or anything, but I would love to, but that is not what I'm doing presently. I just, in our busy lives, just if we even consciously like breathe for a couple of minutes, I feel that is kind of a privileged thing as well. Yeah, just center yourself and feel that om.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just focusing on the Om, on the central vibration of the universe. And yeah. Yeah, and wow, what an experience that you had in the middle of your life there. Like, wow, like a completely transition. And you mentioned you don't see, right? From your,
So,
but you,
uh,
but you don't see at all?
nothing.
Nothing. But you still can paint and draw and do symmetries drawing and wow. Like,
I think it actually helps. Your focus. If you close one of your eyes, then your
uh-huh.
focus kind of more than how it is when you have both your eyes, right? I mean, that's what I realized myself. There are other things that are not so great, like depth perception. I had problems earlier, like jumping from one rock to the another. I used to get scared, but then I kind of trained myself and I'm still getting there, but better, much better. But I feel like this not having one eye is also kind of like a superpower for me.
Totally, like totally, yes. And the way that you can adapt to it can bring you like these special powers, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I realized like how powerful we are as human beings, right? We can do anything and everything that we want to do. And it is such a great power that everybody has. Not most of us do not realize it and feel helpless, but once we are at a position where there is this is the only way. You can't like have there are no options. You just have to do this. So that is when you realize that okay, you can actually do it.
Yes. If it is in your path, it is for you to do it and you can do it. Yes. And well, I am curious about you mentioned that you found out about Alex Gray and visionary art with Tool, with the band. How was this and when was this?
So during my engineering days, I was like a metalhead and listening to a lot of metal and rock music. And finally, as I was getting matured, I was listening to like more progressive bands like Tool and Porcupine Tree and Opeth. So, but Tool especially kind of blew me away with their lyrics. And this was again at the time when I went with Accident. And Maynard James' lyrics were like, they actually felt like, wow, this guy is speaking the truth from his heart. And then the artwork of the band, and I was like, who is making this art? So I kind of researched a little bit. I found, okay, this guy, Alex Gray, wow. And I was like, what is this guy? Such amazing. I mean, like, I was a total new to visionary art, so I was like completely blown away with the colors and with the patterns and the story and the visions. And from there on, I went into the rabbit hole of visionary art. I discovered Amanda Sage and Chris Dyer and Android Jones and so many other artists. I must be forgetting so many great names, but I'm sorry if if I forget you, but hell yeah, I went through all these amazing artists and truly got inspired with these beautiful visions that they had. Because in India, I mean, our spiritual art is kind of like visionary art. But in the new times, the newer artists, they are more into like abstract or contemporary art, not really visionary art. There are very few artists in India who are actually pursuing visionary art, to say, like Abhi
Yes,
art.
I
Yeah,
was
there's
going to ask you about this. Like, how do you, because India is so spiritual, like so religious, so visionary. Like the artworks that, like the Hindu artworks, are so visionary.
yeah.
But yeah, how do you feel about the visionary art movement as a culture movement there in India? How do you feel about it?
Like I said, this visionary spiritual art is from a different time, not our time. This
Yeah.
has already been made, and the stories and the concepts, because this is not a new thing, right? Whatever we are talking about now has been there forever. So everybody, I think every human experiences the same things and has his or her own way to, express this in different mediums. So yeah, like the Indian art that was from that times, that is like fascinating. That's amazing. Like the artistry and the use of colors and the way they make it, it's so perfect. I mean, the art is just like wow. The characters, the anatomy, everything is like so on point and amazing. But now, in the recent times, I think there are a couple of artists even from our own visionary circuit, which is some of them are like Rupali is there. Who else? Abhi Art is there. There is few more that I'm forgetting again, but yes, there are. I think, but a very handful of artists in India in the visionary art movement, not like the US, not so many. Even in tie
Mhm.
dyeing, actually, not so many tie dyers in India, but they have their traditional tie dyeing techniques, of course, but not like the tie dyeing that happens in the US, like all colors and like very hippie-ish.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and nice. Now that you mention about the tie-dyeing and like being like a culture from there, I'm curious to know like when you go to these tribes, when you go to these artisan villages, like how is their feeling of receiving this exchange? Like what is their feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean it's been fascinating so far. It's always has been fascinating to work with these amazing artisans from villages because their skill and our skill being from the cities is so different. And it feels bad because sometimes because they have kind of forgotten, they have made to forget so many things like use of natural materials or even natural dyeing for that matter of fact. Not many people in the recent times are actually pursuing it. There are some people who are doing it, but a lot of people are using polyester and just getting doing the easy things because that's what the market needs. The market is not paying them so much for doing that extensive craft. So when I do collaborations with them or I'm in the training program with them, I think we are the people who are hosting the training program but for me it is like I'm learning way more than they are learning from me actually. Because it is not just the craft but it's how they approach the craft, with this honesty and humbleness that they have and genuine passion for craft because they're not doing it for the money. I mean, of course, you need some amount of money to survive, but then they don't want to be millionaires doing artists, but they truly love the craft and the art that they pursue, and they just want to have their livelihood with that. That is as simple as that, you know? And that really fascinates me that wow, there's still like people who are actually devoting their entire life behind a craft and even not getting paid so much. That is sad, but that's what we are striving for to give them a better market so that we can make designs that are more like global oriented, so that they reach a wider audience that'll accept their products. So that is the whole point of this project. And whenever I made tie dyes for them, for the artisans, they were so happy to see, like how colors, because they have not seen it uh, in their own craft, because they buy the yarns, the colored yarns, and then they do the weaving basically. So they, when they see me dyeing things in front of them, and how the color kind of flows from one gradient to the other, and how they mix together, they're like, wow, what is this? This is like magic. Like, yeah, exactly, color is so magical, right? And you never know how you can express yourself, and plus I always felt when I be being getting into tie dyeing, uh, for me, colors were like, when you look at a particular color, it gives you a certain kind of a vibration, right? You feel in a certain way when you look at a certain color. Like blue gives you a certain feeling. Some shades of green will give you a certain feeling. Some shades of grays or reds and oranges and yellows will give you different feelings. So, what are you feeling today? Wear that color, right? So that is why I was, again, one of the reasons why I started playing with colors.
And yeah, it's fascinating because it's another, well, the weavers there, they can weave the colors like one after the other, but the tie dyeing is just like this gradient, like this, woo, so it disappeared. And yeah, you can have one one hue, one scarf for each hue, so you can wear it like, okay, today is the orange day, today is the purple day. Yeah, that's fascinating. And yeah, for sure, when you go to these villages, you will learn so much more, like you learn a lot. And I had a question when you were talking about this, of how the industry accept these handmade crafts that are like millenniums. Like, I don't know how many years these people are there in this village. It can be just 100 years, but still like a family long, like a village long tradition. And
Yeah.
how the industry accept this, how this is exchange.
So basically, these weavers, how the craft is passed is from mother to daughter generally. The mother teaches the daughter or the son in some cases, but generally it's passed from mother to daughter. And that's how they teach the daughter right from the beginning about weaving skills. And regarding the industry, well, it's kind of sad, especially in India, because the mass production and the mass market and all these what do you say, high fashion brands, and everybody wants to wear a branded attire. And on the other hand, when we go to these villages, the prime the motive why they started weaving on the first place was not to sell. It was just about to make clothes for themselves and their loved ones, and then gift to other loved ones or family or the village people, you know so it is about self-sustaining in that whole economy or whatever it is. It was not about making and selling, because in making and selling you're always like, okay, I make one and sell one, I earn x amount. I make 10 and sell 10, I make 2x. So the more you make, the more you sell, the more it continues, right? You're in that loop. Then you keep making and keep selling, keep making more and more. But that is not how it should be, right? I mean, how much do you really need, and what is that you need? So for the weavers, they generally make traditional attires which will not be accepted globally, or at least in parts of India, because it is their own traditional culture. Because if it's a certain tribe, they will make their own cultural attires. Now, me being from a different state, anybody being from a different state in India, that person would not probably buy that garment or that particular traditional attire, because they would not make sense to it. Oh, I don't know how to wear this. I don't know where to wear this. This is so bright. This is so colorful. So in India, that's why these weavers are kind of in a state of dilemma that okay, what are we supposed to do? That's the whole project about, wherein we are kind of understanding what the wholesome market is about and what do the market need. They want fabric for shirts. That is the market, right? They want fabric for pants, right? So switching little bit slowly from traditional, not like fully traditional, make your traditional, but also like take traditional parts and put it into modern design concepts so that it is widely acceptable as well by others, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
yeah,
this is
that is
really
the whole
interesting.
challenge.
For sure, it's
That
a
is the whole
challenge.
challenge.
You are breaking up just a little bit. I think you're back now. Yeah, you're back now. So,
Is
yeah,
it okay now?
yes, it is. It is, yes. And yeah, well, what a challenge, right? Like this is like this how you keep this culture alive and well, these people like having their amount and like this exchange. It would be really nice to see more of this movement of the industry going to get these fabrics to make t-shirts and not the plastic ones. And
Right.
right. And well, what about the Design Science Studio project? Can you share more about it? Like what it is and what did you do there?
Well, I got introduced to the design science people through Amanda. She was in the cohort one, and she and Roxy, who is like one of the creators of the Design Science Studio, they always used to come during the anniversary week, and we used to attend. While attending the anniversary week, the Design Science Studio also had a slot wherein they would present what is going on in their realm, right? So it was pretty exciting to see what they're doing because all the jargons that they use, it seemed like very fascinating stuff, like new age redesigning and regeneration things. And I was like, okay, let me just try it out. So basically, if you want to, anybody can apply for the Design Science Studio. I think their cohort 4 is going to start, if I'm not wrong. So applications are open if anybody wants to apply for it. So basically, you need to have like a project. For in my case, it was the craft village. I had an idea wherein I have this utopia of a village which wherein different kinds of artisans, not just clothing but farmers, craftsmen like blacksmith, and different kind of builders as well. We are all living together in a sustainable system wherein the energy is solar and wind power, all the good stuff. And we have our own exhibition place and we are working in barter system. So that was my project. It was called the Craft Village, and that is what I worked on in the Design Science Studio. But while doing it, I was again like introduced to so many amazing people in the Design Science Studio and learned so much from them. And yeah, it was a great experience. Anybody who wants to join, please do. And the cohort is still open, I guess, the applications.
Nice. That's really interesting. Like this, another community, like another way of putting together this project. But well, we have some of train riders leaving now. Sudi and Scott just said bye because they're going for another trip that starts in 3 minutes. But anyway, let's continue here. I have just a few more questions. And well, this Design Science Studio project, so you just like put together, it's like a concept project.
They have a form, like a very elaborate form that you have to fill. So in that, they're asking, what do you really want to do? And it's not necessary that you have it all figured out in the beginning itself. Even a small idea is fine. You can just write in your idea and whatever little concept that you have behind that idea, and that becomes your project then. And that they will nurture that project idea, and they will kind of find pair you with people who are from similar kind of ideations, right? For in my case, I was paired with this woman Melissa. and Basma from Middle East. She's also working with the artisans there in Jordan. So that was great to meet her. And Melissa is a fashion designer who uses the offcuts of the patterns of the garment patterns from the industry. She uses them and makes garments out of them. So totally learned so much from these guys, and I hope I have shared some knowledge to them as well. And yeah, it was a great experience.
Nice, really nice and great network because, well, you even got to do this runway fashion show, right, with Melissa?
Yes, yes. Yeah, she was actually doing a show on the Medusa theme, which was basically how women are abused in society. And she took Medusa as like the core theme. So she asked me whether I could make some woolen shawls and which she would like to use as drapes on models. So yeah, that's how that collaboration began. And yeah, it was amazing.
Wow, yeah, really, really amazing. Like putting together many good minds. And well, I really hope that the fashion industry changes somehow. Like I can say I was very frustrated as well, like to see the way that fashion industry goes and the way that styling goes, like the photo shoots and the runway shows. Like, wow, no. This is so really weird the way that we continue to do fashion nowadays and like this production that's endless and endless when we have like unique art, like we can wear art in our
Yeah,
bodies. Yeah.
true.
True, so true. And well, I have one last question for you, my friend. And well, it is about this community, the Vision Train community. Please share more on how you found out, like what was your expectations and what came out of it for you? Like, what was the change in your life when you start riding the train?
Yeah, well, like I said, it was COVID times, and we all were trapped in our homes. And I was going through doom scrolling through Facebook and saw this post by Amanda Sade saying talking about the Vision Train, this Zoom call, which is 24/7, and a lot of things happening. It seemed like very fascinating, but yet I was like, by that time, I had never gone on a Zoom call. I was not aware how this thing works, or I was not aware of this whole thing. So I was like pretty skeptical, like how is it gonna be, like what do you mean jam room? I mean, I don't know what it is about. But still, like one day I was like, okay, I want to try it out. I got all the time in the world right now. So while I was dying, I was like, okay, let me just check this link out. So I hopped on the train. It was afternoon my time, so it was like trip 1A, I think, 1A, 1B, something like that. And there was Joe, there was Clive, and Patty, and Laney on the Zoom call. And Clive welcomed me, and Joe, they were so welcoming. I was like, "Why are you being so nice to me?" Because the world is so cool, right? So it was a total surprise for me that okay, these, and they have their art in the background. They're making paintings, and I'm like, this amazing artists are being so nice to me. Why? I'm like, what's going on here? So I was like, this is something unreal. So I got hooked. Okay. We had a group and we used to come online every day. And obviously, till that point, again, I was just learning through everything that I was seeing, right? Because I have not trained myself as an artist. So everything was like, I was just picking up things like, okay, yeah, look at what he's doing. Wow. Okay. So if you do this and that, then this happens. Like, whoa. So like from Anya, I picked up so many things, very basic things, but like she has helped me out, like creating perspective in a landscape. Like how do you just basics, but I was not aware of it, that. And when I practiced that in my art, I was like, wow, that really makes a difference for sure. So small things and big things, it it made a huge impact in my life. Vision Train as a whole, like this community and all the amazing people on this. I mean, totally like salute to everyone and super grateful for our community to be there. And it even now, like I haven't been able to like be on trains so much because of the project, and since I'm kind of mostly in rural Meghalaya. So but then whenever I'm on the train, it always feels the same, it always feels like home, and people always welcome each other, and it's like it is like our extended family in a way, for sure. So yes, I have not only I have learned so much, like from Amanda, of course. She was so generous to like offer me the mesh technique painting classes, and wow, like I've learned so much. Like I had never painted in my life, never like used a brush, and Amanda was like, "You can do it. This is how you do it. Come on, let's do it." I was like, yeah, let's do it. And on the train, I felt this amazing energy, right? Because we are all at a same, I think we are all on a similar kind of a plane where we are thinking about the similar things, we are feeling similar things about the world, and we care about similar things. So while
Yes,
I'm
my
creating on
internet.
the train, it feels so amazing. I mean, I feel this super energy bolt through me that whatever art that I have made on the train, I feel those are my best works so far. You know, hands down. So yeah, I mean this community has totally like guided me in so many ways. And it was at a time when I was also like trying to understand a lot of things in my life and going through a lot of things. So yeah, totally. Yeah.
I'm back. Hi, my friends. I'm back. I'm sorry. My internet just got disconnected, but it got connected at the great time that the stream didn't fall off. The stream is still on. We're still online. And Jit, you were talking about the Vision Train. And well, I still have the host here. Wow, so glad. Like, I just glitch for you guys. So,
Yeah, we didn't
well,
realize it. It's just
yes,
like for
yeah, well, great. Let me get back here. I'm so glad I'm back. So you were talking about the generosity of Amanda and uh, like,
everybody on
oh,
the train, actually.
like
Alicia, all the hard
giving.
work that happens behind it. I mean,
Yes.
you, Brittany, Mark, Anya, so many amazing people who are like really like putting this thing together, and really like appreciate all of you guys.
Yes, really, really appreciate the all this shared Jeet. And yeah, the Vision Train. Wow, my friends that you are listening there on YouTube, come to the Vision Train. It changes your life, really, like really. And you also get these like community all over the world. You can go to India, you can go to Ireland, you can go to Iran if possible. I wish. Like,
Yeah.
or the US, but you find family there. You find family there. And yeah, the Vision Train is really amazing. We have here one share from Bitney. It's so cool to learn with you over the years and to learn more about your life today, Jeet. Thank you so much for sharing, and Marina for facilitating this interview. Thank you, Brittany, for sharing this. It's like really special to make these moments happen, and you already came here. You already was like here with me sharing your life, and it's so precious these moments that we get to listen, just one train rider on the spotlight and sharing your life. Because well, Jeet, you have so much you've lived, and you live like a very different life from us. Like I engineer Like, come on. Like, an engineer, my friend? Like, this one was okay. Like, really? Yes. Like, Michelle was here before, and she also has a degree on neuroscience and
Yeah.
graduate from British Columbia. Like, what? Like, what? I'm talking to these people. Like, really, I'm talking to these people, and we little do we know, like, when we share, because we all share this everything that we have in common. Like, we share our, yeah, we don't share much about our lives, our history. So this moment, it is really, really focused on this. And I want to open the floor here if anyone wants to share anything or to ask Jeet some question. You can put it in the chat or open the mic. Feel free to do it. The floor is open if anyone wants to contribute. Well, if not, that's okay as well. I I have well, anyone there wants to share?
I will.
Cool.
Hi. Hi, Jeet. I just wanted to say it's been a wonderful journey with you from the beginning on the Vision Train and seeing your art process and creativity evolve and grow. And like from watching you in the early days doing your tie-dyeing over, your setup and then going out into the communities with the tribe people or the it's just super inspiring, and I think it's an amazing thing to do, to bring that knowledge and that wisdom of those tribes to us all over the world, because we'd never know about it unless you did that. And you know, just seeing that that's still happening is amazing. So yeah, and to see your art process as well. Like you said, we both of us didn't have a clue about the mesh technique in the beginning, but we've grown so much together. So yeah, it's been a pleasure. So that's all I wanted to say. And come to Ireland anytime. You too, Marina.
Thank you so much, Sunny. Really, really nice that you share with us. We also have a vision training focus with Sunny if you wants to catch on YouTube. And yes, Jeet, it's this movement that you do, that you go out of your place, that you go out and you go into the jungle and you go to these like really humble places, like deep in the forest, to live there with them and have this exchange. And it's like it's 2025. It's not like, like it's the future, supposedly, but still this exchange feels so rich.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
thank
it
you.
feels like the future when you're in those villages. It feels like time has stopped there. It's just the same thing is going on. In terms of their rituals and how they see life. They see it like so simply. Their food and what they wear and how they interact with each other, and working with them. I also from the vision train, I think it is what is supposed to happen. So like I understood the importance of having a community, and how much it is like important to have people who care about you and support you and whom you can count on, and you can work together and make something bigger than what you could have done alone, because we all can make art on our own, but like I was doing when I was in Bombay. I was making my own tie dye T-shirts and doing my own thing. But then when went to Goa and then Himachal, and I started working with these artisans for the first time, I understood that together we can do so much more and more meaningful than what it would be if I was doing it alone in my own house or in my own studio. So that really like inspired me to look for more, and so even though it is like kind of hard for a city boy to go and live in villages and in jungles with a very modest kind of we don't have so much facility like the cities. Sometimes we don't even have running water in the villages. We have to go to a community tap and you have to fill your water every day and then do your chores. It can be like that as well at places. Some places there is no electricity, you just have solar, that's it. And solar, by solar I just mean like a bulb. There's just one bulb in your room that operates by solar, or a little fan maybe. So, but then all that is great when I go to work with these guys and learn from them and try to create something beautiful with them. It all like dissolves into amazingness.
Yeah, it is community, like what you say, it is the most important. When once I reach this knowledge, like it really most matter who are you with, not where you are, how you are. It really, really matters, like who are you with, and this will make the whole experience. This will set the whole experience. It doesn't matter if it has AC on the room, like yeah, a fast Wi-Fi or like a convenience store just around the corner. Like no, it really doesn't. What matters is who are you with. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, even when now I go to the villages at an odd time maybe, and I was traveling, so I couldn't have my lunch on the way, and there are very less restaurants any which ways in the village areas. So whenever I go to their villages, they always ask me like, have you had food? Are you hungry? So sometimes I'm like, when I'm hungry, I'm like, I tell them, yeah, I'm hungry. And then
Yeah.
they would just leave everything and run to their kitchen and make like, I'm like, don't make anything crazy, just make simple. It's okay. I mean, like, I just want to eat something. But they would always like make these 4, 5 things, and you're like, okay, have this now, have this, have this. I'm like, wow, guys, you don't have to do this for me. Come on. So I mean,
Yeah.
is there, even though they are not so rich, but they're in terms of money, but they're so rich in their heart that they're so like giving. And this is another thing that I learned from that, is to give like selflessly. I mean, it is easier for us to take, right, all the time, to I want this, I want that, this is mine, this is mine, this is what I want. This is how the city mentality works, right? We have our things sorted, and this is my thing, and this is what I'm about. But in the villages, it's all about like sharing. You make something and then you share, and that gives you so much more happiness than what you do for your own self, right? So again, the community part comes in together. So yeah, so much of amazingness in these villages.
Nice. And yeah, deeply glad that you are here sharing this with us because, like Sunny said, we had no idea that there was these artisanal people like there in the countryside of India making these amazing fabrics and having like each house have one like machine. Like, what is this? Like, wow.
They have made it themselves. Their traditional looms are made by them in the whole, like as in the villages, they are totally like self-sustained in terms of food, clothing, and shelter. So they are pretty much sorted. So unless we kind of probe them to buy an iPhone, you need money to buy an iPhone. Go earn money, go earn more money so that you can buy more things. Otherwise, they are totally sorted in wherever they are. They're pretty self-sustained and doing pretty good. They tell me that, oh, we are so poor. I'm like, you are not poor, we are poor. We don't have what you have, and we can never probably have what you have, right? Like land of your own. You have your own farms, and you have a great community wherein you share your, your food products. Somebody is growing rice, somebody is growing vegetables, so they share. The the barter system still exists there. So that is like very interesting and very heartwarming as well to watch this. And that's why I always want to go back to these villages and live there as much as I can and learn from them.
Yes, and please tell them about us. Tell us that we all here on the Vision Train, we say hi to them and we cherish them and want them to keep just doing what you're doing. And yeah, you can have a good iPhone to make a video about your craft. Yeah, well, but not necessarily it's a need, but yeah, well. Mhm. We have a share here on the chat from Thomas. He said this. It's really great to hear your story, Jit. I joined it halfway, so I will watch the replay and hear more from you. So interesting to hear about the flashes in your visions too, and your resilience to prosper through transformation.
Thank you so much, Thomas.
Yes, Thomas, thank you so much for your present. Really glad that you're here with us in this deep dive on Jit's life. And well, I have a question, and also Asia share on the chat. Thank you so much, Jit, for sharing your inspiring journey. Thank you, Asia, for being here. And well, my question is about like a message for the future, or like a message about your work, about your vision.
Message for the future. Well, I'm not really happy. I think we are all on the same page where what's happening around the world. It's like so heartbreaking. All the war and all these hatred and fascism that is happening around the world. I hope we kind of figure out these things, and all the people who are in power, they kind of realize and have the real power to make changes in their own self and psyche, and not run around, not make bombs and destroy others, and maybe just really create better relationships and build communities rather than destroying them. So this would be my message for the powerful people if they ever see this.
Yeah. And well, thank you for that. For sure, we need more goodness and not more destruction. Like, please. And well, what about the message from your art? Like, what is the message that you want to put out with your art?
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm not so serious about what message I want to really put out with my art. My drawings and paintings are mostly like self-exploration of what's going on in the head, and how do I relate everything, and like make it like sensible for me as a person. And in terms of the fashion industry that I'm in, well, what I really want to do is, like take this project to at a level wherein these artisans can, they don't no longer have to strive for just the basics, and can also be somewhat privileged in terms of monetary things as well. So yeah, that's what I would love to do more with these artisans. Is I hope they can. I hope we can together we can find better markets and better people to support these people, so that they can live more than what they are doing right now, and they can live more, much better lives actually.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jish. I really hope so too that this fashion culture that you putting up there, at least in this region, it keeps growing and growing and inspiring more people to do the same and value these
Yeah, and
crafts.
also I think that clothes are just like food. I think everybody should have the skill to make their own clothes, if not everybody, but at least someone in the community, someone in a particular little community wherein this guy in my community makes clothes, I'll probably go and buy it from them. Or how I imagine it is, you buy clothes and then you have a community dyeing service, wherein you don't have you buy good clothes made out of good material that will last for at least 10, 15 years, if not more. And then you just keep dyeing your clothes as they fade out, right? Because things are going to fade, which is a natural process of any particular thing, right? It is going to get faded. It might get torn a little bit. One button might just fall off. But, reutilizing your resources and remaking it and using the same thing in a different expression, maybe the same thing can be dyed differently or printed differently, but all happening in the community. So it's just like food, sometimes we make our own food, sometimes we go outside to eat food, but mostly we are self-sustained about food, right? We don't have to like always go to the supermarket and buy some processed thing. That is what the world wants us to do, right? The corporations. So just be self-sustained and at least these basic needs: food, shelter, and clothing. And in our time and age, maybe internet as well.
Well, internet, we are still dependable on a few things like electricity, but yeah, internet is great as well to connect with many, many people. But all these things that you shared, we do this since the beginning of time. I don't know if there was a beginning, but we were surely like good using food and clothing and shelter. Like, yeah, it's like a basic of our community. And yeah, this vision is really amazing. Like, uh, reutilizing what we have. I always thought about this about fashion. Like, why do we need to keep making more white blouses? Didn't we make enough white blouses in the world? Like, how many millions of white blouses do we do a year? Like, one industry do a year. Like,
Yeah.
what is this number, like, and why do we keep making these kind of things ever, like, all the time? Like, this was one of like the little things in fashion that you cannot change, but what we can change is how we approach fashion, right? And how we perceive it. And yeah, it's truly inspiring. Really, really inspiring to talk to you, my friend.
It's been inspiring to talk to you as well, Marina. And
Yes,
I'm
I
I'm
deep.
I'm wait- you will be interviewed by another train rider, I'm hoping, and you'll
Me?
be
It will take a while, my friends. I have so many train riders to interview before I am the interviewer. E. Yeah, I really, yeah, this moment is it's really precious because we can go like deep into like what you are bringing, like textiles, fashion, dyeing, and community, and each of us have these nets that we are like our bubble, like our bubble. Yes, and it's really precious to get a deep insight into your world, into your life, and your creation. Jit, I wish you that you can continue to build these communities and build these relations and make this exchange and also be this inspiration there in India, in this region, and also for everyone all over the globe to be the change, at least in these areas in their lives.
Thank you so much, Marina. So grateful for this interview, and thank you for putting me on the spot and asking me these questions, which are like, yeah, I mean, these are the questions that I ask myself as well sometimes, and I think that's how it's going to be forever, I guess. We're going to keep questioning ourselves.
Keep questioning ourselves for evolution. Yes, we need this comparison. We need these timelines in our life, our past experience, and our future hopes so we can evolve as a being. Yeah, it's all about that. And also, like, all about how we connect with each other. I appreciate that you like the questioning. And well, I have this question that I ask all the train riders that were here, like, how was meeting the vision train and what it changed in your life? Because this is like each of us, everyone says the same, but in a little bit different. Same, but different. Like, yeah, it is. It is really precious to have your unique view here. Thank you for accepting it and putting together this beautiful presentation. My friends that are connecting now, Jeet's presentation has a lot of videos, and also in the beginning he brought music from his mom singing, and it's really beautiful. Thank you,
And
Jeet.
the last song was by me.
Ah, the last song was you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Thomas, for being here. Thank you, Sunny, Ali, Honey, Brittany, Asia. Thank you all so much for being here with us. And for you, my friend, yeah, Gigi, I will remove you now from the spotlight, my friend. Yay. Thank you. And for everyone there in the live or in Facebook or YouTube, or if you're watching the recording, we are here live on the Vision Train. This is the Vision Train Focus trip that I host every other time, like when I have a guest that accepts my proposal to make a presentation on their lives and come here to talk about their lives in this moment. And we also have a massive schedule of events that happens on the Vision Train, and you can check this out at www.visiontrain.org, or you can go to the Vision Train Instagram and check it out there. And also you can go to the Mighty Network station, the Vision Train station on Mighty Network. It's like our social media where we can post things we like, where we can post the recording from trips, where we can also like be a member of the Vision Train and uh, contribute monthly for the Vision Train functioning, like all the Vision Train all that happens here for the support. And in this membership, you have access also to classes and you have access to events. And so please check it out there on more about the Vision Train on these mediums. And I hope to see you on board. The new Vision Train Focus still has no date, but hopefully there will be one more in this year. and I hope to see you again. Thank you all for your attention and hope to see you on the train. Yoo-hoo, choo-choo for us. Here we have the beautiful crew. Choo-choo. Much love, my friends. Choo-choo.
Choo choo.